Today on Success is the New Black, we have a treat, definitely. We have a woman who's been an entrepreneur since the age of 12, and now we're going to talk to her as she is the CEO and founder of an empowered woman. We have Desiree Doubrox here on this episode of Success is the New Black. Stay tuned. All right, we are here again to do it one more time. This is your latest episode of Success is the New Black, and you might be confused. No, I'm not Ashida. It's actually Tara this time. But before we get started, I will have everyone introduce themselves. So, Ashida, would you please?
Well, I thank you. I'm Ashida Onrae, and I am so glad to be with you again on Sunday.
Yeah, and where can they find you on social media?
They can find me at Ashida Onrae on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
And I am Tara Johnson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Wagging Her Tail. And as I said in the intro, we have an absolute treat today. Now, this is a person that you'll definitely want to listen to everything that she has to say because she has been through it all in the world of entrepreneurship and she is still going strong. We have Desiree Doubrox with us today. How are you?
Hi, ladies.
Welcome.
How are you? Yeah,
Good.
I'm so glad to be here.
I just like to say your
It's
name,
exciting.
Doubrox. Doubrox.
Well, you're one of the very few that are saying it correctly. So I'm so
Well, it's because
used
of
to it.
Diane Carroll on Dynasty. We were talking about that. That's
Yes.
how I remember that.
Yes,
Even as a little
yes.
kid, I'm not going to give away my age. Don't even try it. Now, Desiree, you have been an entrepreneur since the age of 12. Is that right?
Yes. My sister reminded me of that because one of my first projects was that I would go to dance school on Saturdays. And then I would go to the playground, the public playground, and I would teach little children the same thing I learned that morning in the afternoon. And basically it was a glorified babysitting service. The parents dropped them off, paid me a couple bucks, and we did it. But when we did our recital for our dance school, they did their recital. And I sold tickets, and we had the refreshments, and my brother was handling the DJ backstage. My sister was handling the tickets, and we had a packed house. And it was so packed that somebody reported it to the management, and the management came to shut us down. And when they came to shut us down, parents were saying, well, not my child, not yet, not until my child goes. So they let us finish our show, but immediately then after, they said we were over occupancy. At 12 years old, what would I know about occupancy? I had no idea. There's a signs there. Well, I had no idea. So the lesson learned was that you can take something that you learn, and there's always someone else that wants to learn the same thing.
That's amazing. Did you realize when you were doing that you were an entrepreneur, that you were starting a business?
I didn't know the word entrepreneur
Yeah.
either. I just know that I enjoyed it, and I know that they had programs and and I could do mine, and I made good money. I mean, I had no overhead.
See, that sounds like an entrepreneur. No overhead.
No taxes, no insurance, no
Right.
payroll.
That sounds...
It's all profit.
We are all like looking for that kind of business right now. So that led you to... What was your next business? Because you've always been an entrepreneur. You've never worked for anyone else?
No. I mean, the closest thing is, because after that, it was when you're in high school, they sell those world's famous chocolate bars as a fundraiser. You've seen that before? The ones for $1, the chocolate almond. One day I opened it and I realized that there's $1 a bar, but there was 12 pieces to the bar. So I sold them 10 cents a piece. So I made 20 cents a bar, and I did it right there in the schoolyard.
I
so
like
the
that.
same kids that had the same bars in their backpack, but they couldn't afford $1, they could afford 10 cents. And believe it or not, some people paid 10 cents 12 times, and paid $1.20
Right.
for the same bar they had in their backpack. But at recess time, they would flock towards me to buy that 10 cents bar. So I won the prize for selling the most bars. Never had to go knocking door to door, and I made 20 cents a bar. So that was so the lesson learned there is, again, you could have something. If you break it down and find an audience that can afford it at one level, maybe not the big level, then there you are.
Oh, I like that little nugget. That's a good nugget.
Because many of us have books or programs
Yes.
or products or things like that we're trying to sell in bulk, which is great and that's ideal what you want. But sometimes there's always a market that you can sell to others. And then it went on from on. When I went to college at USC, I moved to the Marina Del Rey, and I used to notice that on the weekends, the guys would leave the boats, and they would leave the boats messy. And they really didn't want to come back that next Friday and start cleaning up. So I contacted the young ladies at school and said, hey, I started a Marina Mermaid service. And it was like blue t-shirts. We had our jeans and our little blue buckets that had the supplies in it. It was Mermaid. And we would clean the boats, put an ad in the Argonaut, and we would clean the boats. And it was $35, so they would get 15, I'd get 15, and it was $5 worth of supplies. And we made a great business out of that because they could do it in their time, in between breaks, school breaks and classes. And as long as the guys came back on Friday and the boats were clean, it was great. Until one day, one of the ladies was smoking on the boat, and some of her ashes got on a cushion, and the cushion caught fire. It wasn't bad, but we had to replace that. But then that's when the owner said, you need to get insurance. And we looked into insurance, and it was prohibitive at that time. I was still like 19 years old, and $1 million boats. It was just totally took away my profits. So I keep saying I'm going to go back to that one day because I still look and there's no Marina Mermaid service, but it was easy and fun. And then the moral of that story lesson is that can make sure you have your foundation set up, but there's things that you want to, the ideas you have, maybe you don't want to do, but you can always find a market that's able to do it and make a profitable business that way.
This is amazing.
I like this.
Look, I went to class at 19 and I was just trying to make it a class.
Right.
I had to pay my way through school, so.
But these are like little nuggets. Is that what you do? Like all these different experiences, you're making them very plain. Like it's what we learned in business school, what you just talked about when you were selling the candy bars. Find what, your target market and what your target market can afford, or find what someone else is not doing and how you can fill that void. Do you make those like conscious decisions, or is it just what you're made of? It's just your makeup and how you think of things.
I think it's probably part of my makeup. What I do is I think of something and I say, okay, let me see who's anyone doing it and see if they're doing it, how they're doing it, and then see how I can do it differently. Because sometimes you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. There's always there's great things that are happening, but a lot of it comes to, oh, I wish I had that, or that would be great to do, or, and it just keeps going. But the thing is to think about them, and also the next step is to implement them. And that's where, it gets tricky. Some people have great ideas. There's a lot of great ideas out there. And I know, but they just haven't been implemented. They haven't tried. So it's just, that's the next step. Being able to take the next step.
I think the implementation is what sets people apart from others.
Well, it separates a business from a non-business, an idea from a business. I mean, that's two distinctions. So it does make that difference. But, it's not, I think what makes it easier for people if they have the knowledge, once you do something once or twice or 3 times, it becomes more comfortable. And we can find the knowledge, especially now with all the advent of the internet. It's anything. You can become a pro in a matter of hours or days. Yeah. I still feel experience is the best teacher. But the thing is that you can be able or collaborate with people who are experienced. When I started, Powered Woman, and then from there I did a models media, modeling school and agency. And at one point we were the largest in Los Angeles because we used to put ads on K-Rock, and we used to audition models, actors, and dancers. And the ads would come, we'd have hundreds and hundreds of people respond to them. And we'd have auditions, and we'd invite some of the people from the big modeling agencies to be at the audition, so that people wanted to be in front of them.
Of course.
And we would select the pros and the non-pros. The non-professionals, they had to enroll to our class, and we trained and prepared for these big extravaganzas, that we would charge people tickets for and get sponsors for and so forth. And then they would, but then the professionals, we would pay them, but we paid them in the models media money, which means it was money that they had to spend back with us. So again, it just brought it full circle. So we had hair salons, we had a makeup line, private label makeup line, we had clothing, we had videos and photography, studios. We just really were able to grow because we just kept the money coming back in and coming back in.
That is super smart.
I love it.
That is really super smart. I need to write some of this stuff down. And you've entered into different industries. I mean, the modeling industry, the cleaning industry. And is there something that you think, and you said experience is the best teacher, but do you think there's just some foundational traits that as an entrepreneur you need to have? Because you're entering different industries, and I assume you weren't exactly an expert in, cleaning, and then became an expert in the modeling industry, because you just need to be diving right into them when you see a need. What are the traits you think every entrepreneur needs to have?
One thing, you have to be determined. I mean, you have to have, again, they say a why, but that why could be, I think it's determination. Whatever that determination is. Sometimes you can do things, for me, it's my sole support. It's the way I supported my family, my children. I was married, but then we got divorced for many years, I was supporting them. And I wanted to support my lifestyle. I wanted the nice cars, the trips, and nice, beautiful houses, and gated estates, and boats in the backyard, and next flight outs. And I wanted that life. So the only way I was able to get that was to be able to make these businesses work. And some work better than others. And again, you learn as you go along whether this has a possibility of being able to do it or not. So you need to be determined, though. You need to say, this is what I want to do, because there's always that constant chatter in the back. I mean, I've had so many people that I love dearly that have given me, not so long ago, someone actually went online at breakfast and showed me what the job availabilities that they had at his job. And, and he was being really helpful. I said, I could really get a job if I wanted to make more money. And it's like, the thought that went through my mind was like, okay, I couldn't even look at it. I mean, I was like trying to not be rude, but couldn't even look at it. I'm saying, like, either I'm going to live my life, waking up every day, being unhappy for somebody else, or am I going to live my life every day trying to make myself happy? And yes, I may die trying, but that was the option that I chose. So you have to be that determined. You have to be willing to go through. This is not an easy journey to go through what you have to go through. You have to be focused. Sometimes people say I'm too focused, because I can get myself into a block where everything else is a no. Everything is a no to everything else unless it involves this. So you have to be either whether it's a time period, whether it's time of day, time of week of month. You have to say, okay, for this week, this month, whatever it is, this is it. Nothing else matters. You have to be willing to learn and coachable. A lot of people have all the other traits, but you can't tell them anything. You've got to be willing to learn. You've got to be hungry for knowledge. You've got to realize that you need to know everything. So I wake up in the morning, I take my iPad to bed with me. At night, I listen to videos. I'm learning something new now. I'm starting a new project. So I'm listening to videos, and I put it under my pillow, extra pillow. And in the morning, I wake up and I pull that iPad out and I'm listening to more YouTube videos, more YouTube. I need to fill my brain, I need to feed my brain. Because even though I'm hiring professionals, I need to know what I need to ask them, what they should know, and what I'm looking for. So you need to be willing to learn. And you need to be focused, determined, willing to learn, and strong. Strong, because things will break you back. People will break your back, or situations could break your back, or you could just get tired. Your back just gets broken because you're tired and you're worn down. So you gotta be strong. You gotta have ways of taking care of yourself, replenishing yourself. When you're getting to that point, you have to give yourself a timeout and say, okay, now I need to replenish. Because you have to know that a dry well does not solve anything for anybody. So you've got to nourish yourself. So whether it's sleeping, sometimes I may stay in bed and just watch TV or sleep, or just may take a walk or go to a movie and see multiple movies. You've got to be able to take that time out and take care of yourself, because you are the asset.
I like
Speaking
that.
of strong,
right? I am the asset.
An asset.
I walk up to people like, I'm the asset.
Tell us about an empowered woman. Tell us about that.
Empowered Woman came on I was in real estate for 25 years prior to that, because I thought, okay, I'm doing these different projects. Like, what is the most money I can make? What's the most expensive product? I didn't mind sales, because you realize that that's all you're doing in life is selling. That can make the most commission, so it's homes. So I did real estate, and I had a lot of investors, but I didn't want to just sell to be selling. So I did a lot of investment properties, and most of them were men. So I thought, okay, I need one that's women. And so I would talk to women about it, and I even created a program called From Babies to Bills to Riches in Real Estate. And it's a CD series. And I went through, because my end of my marriage was the beginning of my real estate career. And because I wanted the flexibility of being with my kids and traveling with them and be at their games. So I started talking to women, and it was difficult. So I made brunch, invited them to my house, and said, and I invited a speaker, Getting Out of Your Own Way. And they said, let's do it again. I said, invite someone destined for greatness. And they cried, they talked, they empowered themselves. And this went on for 8 months. And I had to start getting catering companies, because I couldn't cook that much food. And I said, well, now I have to start charging. It means I have to open a bank account, and that means I have to think of a name. So I asked the ladies, I said, this is what's happening. And we were packed. They were coming with their own lawn chairs, because we were so full. Wow. What would you call it? And one girl says, well, I always feel empowered when I leave here. Someone else said, yeah, it's empowering. I said, one girl said, I feel like an empowered woman.
And that was it.
That was it. And so I did it with the intention of real estate. So okay, then we moved to a larger place, country club, and I was so nervous I couldn't speak in public. I had the other people, ladies that were speaking, do all the introductions, introduce each other. I said hi, and then I said bye, and that was it. But we just started going and growing and growing, and that's when I never did any real estate after that. I never, besides my own escrow, I never opened another escrow because it was so amazing. Women are so amazing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear their stories are so amazing. And it was just like, okay, well, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a platform for me to promote women in real estate. It just turned out that they needed more. They needed more resources. They needed more assistance. They needed more support. They needed community. They weren't able to do what I was able to do as far as starting a business. They really had struggles with that. So I provided all that through videos and seminars and webinars and live events that we did, and country clubs and polo clubs and yachts in Marina Del Rey and hair salons where we get makeup. Women can network anywhere. We can hear, listen, and work
Absolutely.
anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we created those environments.
You provided, these women that come to your events, they're also founders, CEOs, executives.
Most of them, yes.
Most of them.
Yeah,
and
most
so they're looking to connect with other
Yes.
CEOs to be able to help with the resources that they need in
Yes.
their business.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
And this website, it's a website, it's a networking event. Is the website a membership based? Do you pay to get to the website?
Originally, you don't pay to get to the website. The website is open.
Okay.
You pay for the events, you pay for the training. So originally it was designed for a lot of events. Now we do more virtual events, videos and podcasts, because we expand our markets. We can promote all over the world. So if you're in a room, that's only limited to those people. So we do a lot of larger things with videos and audios, so that women can we promote women in business.
It's fantastic. And how did you conquer this fear of public speaking? Because now you're the face of an empowered woman.
I
So how did
know.
you conquer this fear of, you're no longer saying hi and bye?
No, I'm no longer doing that. I'm really comfortable. I realize if you find out what your fears are, then you can so many times circumvent them. I realized that my fear, my discomfort was being on a platform, behind a platform or podium with people looking at me that way. But if I'm down on this floor at the same level, if I'm able to walk among them, like I'm not all up front the whole time, then I'm comfortable. So that's what I started doing. So I walk. When I have a microphone, I walk. I'm always down, walk. I don't want to be on the stage necessarily. When I do on the stage, then that I get nervous again. But that's really the best platform. So I realized what worked for me. That worked for me.
So you're Oprahing it. You're taking the microphone, you're walking through the crowd, and,
Yeah, because I don't feel like I'm with them.
Right,
They're
right.
not looking. I mean, I guess it was something about standing up there and everyone just looking at you, and if I'm down with them, I feel more up close and personal, like I'm talking to them.
So I'm on your website, which is lovely, by the way.
Thank
I love
you.
it. I love it. Can you tell us quickly what the Power of 7 is?
Power of 7 is my signature program. It's the way that I'm able to interact with the women, because I specialize in content marketing. Believe it or not, at USC I majored in marketing. And I didn't realize that until about 2 years ago when I had to fill out something for a program I was applying for, and it said, "What's your major?" I said, "Oh, it was marketing." Okay, how about that? Because most people are not practicing what they learn in college.
Right.
So now I'm even more qualified to teach and market, because I actually studied it. But content marketing, taking your content, taking these women's contents or their expertise or their passions, and being able to market it through the different mediums. Like one, through networking, which is just to overcome shyness, to overcome, just there's ways to do it that are very effective. And then also speaking, there's ways to do it that are effective. Find out what works for you through radio shows, TV shows, through creating affiliates, joint ventures, sponsors, being able to get packages, programs, and services, being able to write articles, create an ebook, and a digital magazine. We have a digital magazine called Let's Talk Success. And then being able to take this information and share it through social media. So it's just being able to take your content and market it in multiple mediums that you, one, feel most comfortable with, and one that engages and enrolls your clients.
How do you feel about, especially given the fact that you're from a marketing background? So let's say even, when you study, it might have been more traditional. What are do you love this kind of social media, internet marketing, that it's so different than or maybe it isn't different. Like, how do you feel about the difference of how marketing has changed? And how do you keep up?
Keeping up is tough. Keeping up is tough. But I think that you can only do two things to keep up with. One, technology, all the things and platforms that are available. And two, the way things are happening. There seems to be more psychology around, people that enroll the colors and this way you say this and say that. I think it's important to keep up with the technology, but have someone like you ladies have a studio, have someone that knows the technology so you can show up and be in your genius. The second thing is that sometimes you can get so caught up in all the different ways, you have to be you. Sometimes things I do, it's just the way that I do it. It's just my stuff. I figure somebody created that first. Someone said that the color blue does this, or if you say this first and that first, it works. So maybe I can be the person that says, well, if you do it this way, then it'll work. I have to get it working. So you have to kind of, I think it's great, and I think it's awesome. I think it's endless. I mean, in seconds, we can be anywhere in the world right now. Yeah. Anyone, anywhere in the whole wide world could be tapping into it. So it's amazing. It's magnificent. And everyone should use it for sharing. Yeah. Sharing their gifts.
So what's next for empowered women? What's the next event? What's next? Before we wrap up, what's next? Tell us what's next.
What's next? The next is that, I've been, the Empowered Woman is 11 years old, and I think we kind of plateaued with what we wanted to do as far as being able to monetize it or grow. It has room, but it's just for myself. Mm-hmm. So now what I'm doing is I'm combining my real estate career and an empowered woman. So I can't release all the details yet, but it's going to be launched in a couple of weeks. But think WeWork and Airbnb.
Dun, 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 dun. It's like, you heard it here. Okay. You heard it, but you didn't. Right? You heard some of it, but you didn't hear all of it. So, I mean, you got to tune in to find out the rest of it.
I would love for you to come back and share that when it comes up.
Because it's big. It's really big. It's big. It's worldwide. It's a multi-billion island dollar industry, and it's totally open. This niche that which is really important to get a niche. This niche is for women in business.
She said a B. Yeah. She didn't say M. We're no longer in the billions. We're moving to the billionaires club. I'm quite comfortable with that. Are you?
I am very comfortable with that.
Quite comfortable with that. Yeah, I would love for you to come back and tell us more about that.
Absolutely, please. Thank you.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. One last thing. We always ask a lot of our guests, what are 3 things you could tell our audience that's tangible? Once they finish watching us, what are 3 things that they can do to move their entrepreneur dream forward?
And here's the camera so you can tell.
Okay.
Yes, okay. There you go.
Okay. Number 1, if you have a dream, take action. So write it down. What I do is I have those big sticky paper that you put on the wall, and some, not the little ones, but the really big ones, and I put it on my wall. And I write step 1, this has to be done, or step 2, or step 3, or I write week 1, week 2, week 3. And just get your vision out of your head, out into the world, at least on a wall or a paper at that point. So get that. And then when you're looking at it, decide, you can move it around, decide what happens first and what makes the most difference, because sometimes we look at things and we think it's going to work out, but we haven't done the numbers, or it's more time that we think it's going to take. So really kind of narrow it down and say what happens first, and if you need to get the revenue quickly, then do the thing that brings you the revenue, and then be able to expand and grow from there. Was that 1 or 2?
It was 2.
Okay, 2. And the third thing is that give yourself a timeline.
Yes.
Give yourself benchmarks. Say, I'm going to do this for 3 months, and I won't do anything else until, or go another level, or add another program, or add another piece to it until it reaches 1 of 3 things. 1, the timeline, the time period. 2, a dollar amount. Let's say once I get my first $50,000 and I can do this, or next $50,000, or 3, units sold. Sometimes they say I will stick with this until I have 100 memberships, then I'll go to the next 100 memberships. But give yourself time. That way you can see and feel like everything is possible, but you don't have to do it all right now. Because when we try doing it all right now, then that's when we get into overwhelm, kicks in, and it doesn't get done, or it's just impossible to do it that way. So really break it down and give yourself 1 of 3 benchmarks, and then you can get it done. And then seek for help. We're all here to help you.
On empowerment. Yes, on the website.
Empoweredwoman.com.
Yes, on the website.
You want to write that down, bookmark it on your computer, tell your friends. I'm sure it's women and the men who love them, so don't feel you're excluded whatsoever. Thank you so much for being here,
You're
Desiree.
welcome.
Tell everyone where they can find you,
Yeah.
find Empowered Women. Tell everyone so they can like run out and find. I hear like people on their computers right now, like trying to find you.
You've got good ears. And empoweredwoman.com. You can also find us on Desiree Doubrox. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. You can contact us at Desiree, Desiree, at anempoweredwoman.com. And you can actually call us. We don't mind. We enjoy talking to you. Phone number is 818-865-8563.
How many
3.
people give you a phone number these days?
I know,
right?
I know. We enjoy talking with the people. We encourage you to call us because that way I can get to know you.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been another amazing episode of Success is the New Black. Ashida, where can they find you?
You can find me, Ashida Onrae, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I am Tara Johnson. Thanks for being with us, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Wagging Her Tail. And as always, we enjoy being with you, and we'll see you here next Sunday. Success is the New Black.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.